Hi, and welcome to CryptoBiography. I'm your host, Brandon Starr, and this is episode 143, titled Dealing with Magicians. If you have any comments or questions about this episode or previous episodes, cryptobiography@gmail.com or hit us up on Facebook or Twitter. And here we go. There's no doubt. We've got to be sure, sure, they will bury us if we're wrong. We'll look like idiots. We have all the proof we need. More. Okay, but let's go over it again. The two women looked at the president. They had made their presentation. Now they could only wait. He was going over some of the pictures in the report silently. Then he looked up at them. I can't act on this. This was not what they expected. Sir? I think I believe you. I know you're both too serious for this to be a prank. And I saw something in my youth that made me think magic was indeed possible. But this, he continued, and tapped the pile of papers with the heels of his palms, is problematic. If you're right, and there are a few hundred magical people among us, how can I possibly know the right course of action? Meaning, sir? The shorter one asked, nervously touching her glasses. Meaning you've done a bang-up job of selling me on the hard part. And I get how hard that was. But now, what do I do with this information? Do with it? The other one said, coolly. If these magicians have been around a long time, are they really a threat? If they are a threat, how big of a threat? Can we neutralize the threat? Or do we have to go to war with what is, let's face it, our own citizens? I see. Well, sir, the second one said, we have a conundrum which really only you can solve. You see, they've been with us a long time, seemingly since the founding of the country. On the other hand, their abilities make them problematic. It's like if every citizen had guns taped to their hands all the time. Some could still behave civilly. Others, well, you can see the problem. How do we tell the difference? I don't think we can, sir, not from the outside. Do we have an inside man? No, sir, and we have no way of inserting one. We would need someone with magical powers to somehow want to both join the non-magical world and also to return to that world and give us information. We have no one like that, and it can't be faked. No? No. Apparently you either have this gift of magic or you don't. How do they find each other? Sure. Well, there are only, an estimated 2,000 of them? When a new one turns up, how do they know about it so they can bring the new person into their fold? The first one answered, we understand it is genetically inherited, mostly. There are a few who crop up randomly. They seem to have ways of noticing it and contacting them, probably at a young age. And I'd like to know more about what their real capabilities are. That is harder to say. We know they can alter material, read minds, and alter or wipe memories, alter moods and emotions, travel quickly, start fires, and do direct damage, and quite a bit more. Have they killed anyone? Well, they seem to run the gamut, sir. Some have killed. Most are just regular people, it seems. If one of them becomes a killer, can we stop them? We're working on that, sir. The president ran a hand through his silver hair. Who is the most dangerous one out there now? Benjamin Sutton, sir. He's known to have killed at least 4 people. Can we get him? Well, they normally police themselves. But in this case, we can try. Good morning. Huh? Good morning, Mr. Sutton. Where am I? Somewhere your magic won't be able to get you out of. So you say. If we're wrong, we're wrong. I think you'll find you're wrong. How many people have you killed, Benjamin? I'll answer that if you'll answer a question for me. What is that? How did you get me here? Knockout drug. I see. Thank you. How many have you killed? We know of 4. You're on the right track. Goodbye. And he vanished. Is the tracker working? Yes, thank goodness. Okay, let's track him. It should give us some good ideas on where other magic users congregate. I think we have enough data now. Is the tracker still active? Yes. Time to find out how well our teams can take out a wizard. Team has him in their sights. Proceed. Sniper 1 has a shot. Sniper 1 has taken the shot. Target 1 is down. Is that confirmed? Yes. And that's the story. So, yeah, the last couple of weeks have been a little experimental for me. Last week, it was all done in dialogue, which I felt was a bit extreme, although really once I had written it for a while, I kind of realized it was like writing a radio play, one, where you're also trying to avoid narration or, other sort of like gimmicks and just sticking with the dialogue. And this week, the story came from a couple of different ideas that I've had recently. Like, I watched an MCU movie, and just the thought came to me, it's like, is a superhero really a superhero if you can shoot them, if you can kill them with a bullet? I mean, obviously there's lots of non-bulletproof superheroes out there, but in a weird way, it feels like, and the story of any non-bulletproof superhero can sort of be ended at any time. With a simple gunman. In fact, I know there's been stories in comic book history, like there was a vigilante, I can't remember the name of him, and he went around killing a bunch of like bulletproof supervillains, and he just shot them with a big gun. That was it. And that was like the story for a story arc. I think it was in like Captain America, or maybe it was over different comic book pages. I'm not sure. Anyway, so I had that thought again when I was watching, rewatching a couple of the MCU movies, and yeah, so it's like, well, are you a superhero if you're bulletproof? Well, kind of. And then I was also just sort of thinking about, like the Harry Potter movies and so on. I do feel like at some point, regular technology is going to be like way stronger than anything that can be done, by the the magical people of the Harry Potter world. I mean, yes, they can do some pretty remarkable things in those movies and those books. But on the other hand, it's like, if you knew there was a dangerous witch or wizard and they were like half a mile away in the open, a sniper can hit that. And unless they have some sort of like bulletproof shield up all the time, which I can't imagine is very comfortable to do, I mean, and there's all sorts of other technologies that are like really, really strong now. And we also have like communication that's far better than anything that's in the Harry Potter world. In fact, I think that was one of the interesting things about the Harry Potter world is because they didn't use, phone technology for the most part, except when Harry was at home and stuff like that. Communications were no longer instant. So, they were sending owls, or they were sending, the Patronuses and stuff like that. Anyway, so I had those two ideas, the bulletproof idea and the idea that technology is going to eventually overtake, like any sort of magical power that is either like completely stagnant or just can only, like, most of its capabilities are already known, and therefore it's not growing any better or any faster. Eventually, regular society is going to overtake that sort of thing. So anyway, that's where this story came from. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have any comments or questions about this episode or previous episodes, cryptobiography@gmail.com, or hit us up on Twitter or Facebook. And thanks for listening. Words and music, copyright 2020, CryptoBiography LLC, all rights reserved. Characters and events are fictional, fictionalized, or satirical.